The following segments are pre-recorded and sponsored by Longworth Productions.
Major funding for Triad Today comes from Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, making health care better for all. This episode first aired in December of 2008 and featured a host of celebrities. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to Triad Today Treasures, where we go back to the vault and replay some memorable programs from the past 3 decades. Okay, we're here at Old Town Country Club at the annual Fur Ball. We're glad that we were able to catch up with George Hamilton. How you doing, sir?
I'm still on my feet. I feel like McCain right now, but I'm all right.
All right, first question. Name your first pet.
Oh, that's simple. I had a dog named Marquis. My mother's dog, a little poodle, bit me under the eye.
Why?
I don't know. I was down playing with the bone, and I learned never to do that.
You still do that, don't you?
No. I stay away from little dogs. Always get me. I don't. The big ones don't love me. I have my actually has a Mastiff, Lolita. I love her. And there was Snoop, doggy dog. Snoop was a Doberman. And then Bliss, which is another little one.
And you love animals.
I love animals, but the trouble is, you know, an animal is unconditional love, but
Yes.
you have to be able to take care of them. And if you can't take care of them, it's not a good life for them. So for me, I love to have friends who have dogs, and I go and see my ex-wife, and the dogs love me.
Yes.
My son has a dog named Pippa, who is a Staffordshire Terrier, but she's in love with me, and I just go by, and I think she's going to bite me. She's so happy to see
Well,
me.
everybody's in love with you, and most people do bite you. And talking about taking care of things, we're here to honor the Humane Society and to raise money for the no-kill shelter. Why are the no-kill shelters so important?
Well, you can't have a population. You know, one kitty can produce, I don't know the amount, but like in 7 years or something, like 143,000. Now, with the litters and the litters and the litters. I almost took over for Bob Barker, you know, in Price is Right.
Right.
And Bob is, one of the things he wanted to know about anybody who was going to be a show host, would they make the statement, will you spay and neuter?
Right.
And I think the commitment to that, everyone loves animals, but the problem is you can't let people have the ability to let them run wild and not do something for them. They can't do a lot of things for themselves.
Right.
And especially nowadays, they can't roam. You really have to have an order. Like somebody has to take care of it. It's a responsibility like having a child. So you have to make sure that they don't overgrow.
Right.
And there aren't that too many of them. If they are, they lead miserable lives.
Let's talk about very briefly, because I know you've got to get back inside. You're used to playing all sorts of characters, including real-life characters, singers and all sorts of people. And now somebody's going to play you, ostensibly, in a Kevin Bacon movie. What's all that about?
Don't you just think it's great that someone plays you? It's great in your life. You go, you make all these movies, and one day somebody makes a movie about you. It's their turn. Don't you think it's...
Yeah.
I deserve it. It's a movie that really more about my mother and myself when we were little. My brother and I, there are 2 of us, 3 of us all together, and my mother decided to go across country. My mother wanted to visit every boyfriend that she'd ever known in her whole life, thinking that maybe she missed one she should have married. And so she was looking for a husband for herself and a father for us. We went across the country for months, and we'd go to one place and she'd say, oh, he was great. He was the captain of the football team at Yale. She'd go in a restaurant, we'd wait outside, and she'd say, oh my God, he's let himself go. And then it would be, oh, he's got no hair. Look at that stomach. It got to a point where my mother would just say, could you wait on the corner and I'll drive by? No hair, no teeth, over. Next case.
All right, now you were famous for, or infamous for, dating the daughter of a president once in a while. Now, you don't have any plans either, A, to date any more presidents' daughters, or to run for president, do you?
You know, I think that's the hardest thing. I love being an actor. It's fun to do the things that I do. But what they must do every day and have to go through, I think if you could just have one big, fireside chat and get it over with. But you die getting ready to be the president. It would be a hard thing to do. I would actually love to do a TV show about becoming a president, because I think it would be edifying for people to understand what a politician should know,
Wow.
what he should be about, what he has to understand, not just because he's been in the Senate and steps out all of a sudden one
Yeah.
day. I'd love to do a show about it, but I don't think I want to run from anything except my ex-wife.
That's final thing, the new book, Don't Mind If I Do.
Yep.
The new book by George Hamilton. Very quickly, I know you got to go. Why did you write it?
It comes a time, you know, all of us, all of the guys that I know, Tony Curtis is doing one, Roger Moore, RJ. That's RJ Wagner, Bob Wagner, to his friends. And he's the greatest guy. We've been friends for years, and he's called me the last 3 days. He said, I'm reading your book, and then I call and I say, love that chapter you wrote. We're old friends, and it comes a time when it's kind of great. For me, I did it to show my son and my little son. I have a little 9-year-old. And it's easier to write it than explain it.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks for taking time, and thanks for all you do for the animals and for the No-Kill Shelter, George Hamilton. Thank you, sir.
I am so
Why
frustrated.
can no one help me?
Waiting until work. I think it's healthcare is broken.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we get it.
Really?
Really. That's why we're making healthcare better for all. Starting with you. Yes, you, Daryl. We're making plans easier to navigate by putting your benefits, prescriptions, and details all in one place. Convinced?
No. But it's a start.
We'll take it. Blue Cross North Carolina. Making healthcare better for all. Starting with you.
Let's talk about a couple serious things. There's everything in the book, but talk about your cancer for a second. How did you find out that you had cancer? What went through your mind?
Well, I was getting a massage and I felt a lump under his arm. And I called my friend. I'd only known him 2 weeks at that point, but I was living in LA, but doing a play in New York. So I said, listen, I found a lump under my arm. I think I have a stopped up lymph node. Do you have a doctor? So he made his doctor's appointment. He met me there. 2 days later, he would look very somber when I got out of the taxi. I thought I had a stopped up lymph node. We didn't have any cancer in my family. Well, I was the first. I almost fell off the examination table because when the doctor told me that, I just immediately started to faint because my blood pressure went.
Oh, man.
You know, that's all automatic. You don't think about it. Fainting really is quite unexpected when it happens to you.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt faint?
I have, but when you walk in the room, as a matter of fact. But so in a sense, it's one of those. It wasn't a mammography. It was almost a self-exam type thing that you came across. You know, a lot of people are afraid to go get a mammography and get a mammogram.
Well, I have them every year, but mine never showed up on a mammogram. Never showed up. It was so teeny weeny in the breast that it didn't show up. Even after I was diagnosed, they still couldn't find it.
Well, good for you for going early.
But it had metastasized over to the lymph nodes, and that's why I found it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Thank God we got there in time.
got it early. Let me shift to something that we've talked about before, or it's come up in conversation throughout Hollywood, and that is ageism, where it seems like there's just not that many roles for women over 50,
Women, yeah.
leading roles in television, especially. Why is that? And
I don't know. And in movies too. What they do in movies, and they aren't that bad about it in television. They'll give their leading man, who is now maybe early 60s, the 30-year-old girl,
right,
as his love interest. Now, thinking about television, I see so little that I watch House, for instance. Now, there aren't any older women.
right.
Come to think of it.
That's right.
No.
You can't. I mean, you can't name even on one hand. There are no leading ladies over 50 that are doing their own series.
Well, all I can say is, lucky me.
Yeah, I mean, you did Golden Girls, and Angie Lansbury, our buddy, did Murder, She Wrote, but you just can't find that many. What's going to have to change for that to change, do you think?
Oh, my dear. The people who run the networks. I mean, they're all 30-year-old men.
So, well, that's right.
40 maybe. But no, you don't get a Brandon Tartikoff around every corner. He was, the creator of the idea of Golden Girls. And God love him. Everybody said he was crazy. All the other networks.
What a creative guy.
Oh, what a different person. See, There's Norman Lear, there's Brandon Tartikoff, there was Abraham Lincoln, Barack Obama, but there are not that many of them. They can think.
Now, on a similar theme, I also talked with some of your friends a couple months ago out in Hollywood, and one of their big beefs was that there's not equal pay for equal work, that men of any age in Hollywood get more money than women for the same role. Now, there are exceptions. You might have a woman doing a lead role in a movie and she gets more money, but by and large...
Honey, it's women's fault. You know why?
Why is that?
Because it's the women who are the theater goers to see the men. It's those men women are making those men stars. Both men and women.
I didn't think about that.
Don't even think about it. But you don't get men really supporting women's roles or women's stars. You get them supporting men also.
Right.
You see?
Yeah.
So who supports the women? The gay guys. And the women. And the women. But the women are in love with George Clooney.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Of course, if he were to get married, that might...
He ain't going to get married. Don't worry about
You know that for sure?
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to tell us why you know that for sure?
Well, because I know George. He's precious.
At Sutton Brothers, we're confident we can help you solve your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs.
So confident that we'll fix it or it's free. Our highly trained technicians will diagnose your problem and fix it with either a repair or replacement.
And if we can't fix it, you won't pay the trip fee.
So the next time you have a problem, call us.
We'll make sure you're completely satisfied.
Guaranteed.
Call Sutton Brothers today and be confident things will be done right. Schedule online at suttonbros.com.
Now boarding zone 3.
We're here with the lovely Allie McGraw at the Furball. Thanks for taking a few minutes with us. I know you're busy.
It's a pleasure.
Look, I want to start out by asking you a very simple question. Name your first pet. What was the first pet you ever had? Name.
Grounds was the name of my first of 4 Scotties. I'm a serial Scottish Terrier person.
Okay, and so you were about how old when you got the first one?
I'm not going to, I was a grown-up.
Oh, so you waited until you were grown to
You
get...
know, we had a stray mutt who adopted us when I was a child, and it was a dog called Pepper, and it slept outside. And my family didn't have animals, but for some reason, they've become, and this is the truth, just central in my life.
That's great.
I will never be without multiple animals.
Well, I can see it in your eyes that you have love for animals, and I wanted to thank you on behalf of everybody for being here to doing the Furball. Now, of course, we're raising money for the No-Kill Shelter. RJ and Stephanie helped us raise, I think it was $250,000 last year. We're trying to raise money to expand the No-Kill Shelter. Why are these kind of shelters where they don't euthanize so important?
Well, in the first place, I don't believe in euthanization at all, and I guess this is going to sound a little pompous, but I believe that animals are maybe even better than the two-legged species, and that we as human beings with so-called consciousness have got to help and protect and keep alive and keep healthy and keep population minimized in the spay and neutering programs instead of regarding them as fashion accessories.
Right, I agree. Now, you were credited, I don't mean to embarrass you, but you were credited by many with having revitalized the yoga movement in America some years ago. Why yoga?
I found yoga about 20 years ago. I'm not an athlete, and I love modern dance and so forth, but I found that the combination of doing the physical aspects of yoga, depending on how I feel each day and respectful of that day's body, combined and maybe overwhelmingly with its ability to keep me calm in the present, has completely changed my life, and so I practice every day.
That's great. One serious question, talking about health issues, because I think this is related, and you've seen the magazines of the starlets who are bulimic or who they're having weight control problems, and there seems like there's so much pressure, not just on actresses, young girls all across the country, to be just dangerously thin, to be popular or whatever. that must disturb you. And what advice? I mean, how do we lick that problem?
Well, I have a raging fury against the media for constantly showing images, whether it's a fashion magazine saying that this skinny 14-year-old is the way a grown-up woman is meant to look, or this scared, tiny, starving herself pop star is the model against which our teenage and 20-year-old and 30-year-old women are meant to look. And I think it has to start with the media. And I'm just in a rage about it, because I have watched a whole generation of kids behind, it's always about fear. Am I enough? Am I attractive enough? Am I cool? That's the special word.
Right.
And until we have images out there at the checkout counter that show you what cool really looks like, and it doesn't look like an anorexic, cutting herself girl, we're going to have a population of kids looking like this, because they're so uncomfortable anyway with themselves that they think a certain dress and certain bones showing makes them okay, and it doesn't.
Final question: what's wrong with George Hamilton? I noticed that you were kidding him unmercifully earlier, and I just want to know what's his major problem. What do you hate about him?
I think he's great. I'm not qualified to say anything bad about George Hamilton.
He actually paid you to say nice things, didn't he?
He paid me a lot tonight for
Yes.
this.
You've been very gracious. Thanks for all the help you're doing with the no-kill shelters and raising money. And come see us again, will you?
I will. We have one in Santa Fe where I live, and it's really close to my
Oh,
heart.
yeah, you moved away from Hollywood. Why is that?
Because my house burned down in one of those big fires, and I thought it's time to live someplace else.
John McCain just walked in front of the... Come back in here for just a second. She just said something nasty about you, and he's going to...
Your mother, couldn't possibly have said anything nicer about you.
I got free meals. What do you mean? No, seriously, how much did you pay us? I didn't pay anything. I learned how to cook all of these fresh foods that were delivered to my house. Everything in that grocery bag that's fresh, I had a recipe for it, and I know how to cook. It encouraged us to eat better, to shop better, make better decisions.
Well, I'm excited about meeting our guest, and before you take a look at her, I just want to tell you she was born in Kansas City, but to most of us, she now lives in Mount Airy, and she was really born in Mayberry in our minds and hearts. She goes by the strange name of Betty Lynn because we all around here think of her as Thelma Lou. J. Paul, our director, we can see the lovely Betty Lynn. And I am so glad that you could drop by Triad today and see us.
Oh, thank you, Jim.
Big
You're
fan
very
of yours.
sweet.
Big
well,
fan
I
of yours.
appreciate that.
You know, a lot of folks don't realize that they think of anybody, not just you, but anybody on the Andy Griffith Show. They think, well, that's where their career started. But you were in a lot of films and things before that, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
20th Century Fox brought me out from a show I did on Broadway years ago, under contract. They tested me in New York on 8th Avenue, their old studio there.
Right.
Then
I was tested one time on 8th Avenue, but we don't want to go into that.
Well, anyway, they finally made up their mind after keeping me about 6 months in limbo. They finally decided they'd take a chance on me. So I came to California.
And we're glad you did.
Oh, I am
and
too.
And you worked with so many great people, Betty Davis and all these folks, but everybody remembers you from the Andy Griffith Show too, and I'm curious, how did you get that job?
Well, I was at the time under contract to Walt Disney Studios, doing a series called Texas John Slaughter with Tom Tryon, a Western. And we were on hiatus. And I got a call from their casting director, Ruth Birch, and she wanted me to come in and read for a part on the Andy Griffith Show. Well, I had only seen the show twice before, and I was so impressed. I laughed. I was all alone in the house, and I heard this laughter out loud, which you don't do a lot of with TV sometimes. But I thought, oh my gosh, this is a funny show. They are really good.
Right.
Well, then I get this call, so I go in, and I had seen an episode with almost the same kind of scene that I was going to read for them.
Sure.
And I thought, well, isn't that funny? It's opposite Don Knotts. And I saw someone else doing almost a similar scene on one of the shows I'd seen, and I thought, well, this is odd. Anyway, I said to Ruth Birch, I said, I just saw a show that almost had this. She said, you do watch it then, don't you? I said, yeah, I do. So I go in, and I had to read for the director, Bob Sweeney, and Aaron Rubin, the producer. And when I finished, they said, well, we'd like to have you do this. And I said, well, I'd love to. And they said, I said, but I am under contract to Disney. Well, in the meantime, Disney dropped our show.
Oh, isn't that fortuitous
Yeah,
that you,
I know.
the other?
I know.
But
well,
you were too.
But I had no contract with the Griffith Show.
Yeah, but I mean,
None.
you were really, you know, as a glamorous actress, though. I mean, you come into this situation where you're supposed to be sort of a countrified.
Well, I never
girlfriend.
played glamour roles. In fact, I used to get hurt. I wanted false eyelashes. Every other girl in every show all came in, they'd make them up, and they'd have these long eyelashes. And I didn't, and I wanted them.
What was it like working with Andy and Don?
Oh, they were great. I just adore both of them. I do. I miss Don a lot. That hurt a lot when Don died. But
yeah. So the two of you were close off camera as well?
Not so much when we worked. I mean, we were friendly, of course, but I mean, I didn't really hang around with them or buddy or any of that.
Right.
But years went by, and we would make appearances in places. And when we did, I got to know Francie, his widow now, but anyhow, we in LA, we would get together for dinner in hotels. I'd take them or they'd take me, and then Francie and I would laugh and talk, and everybody thinks Don would be just like Barney. He
Right.
isn't.
Yeah.
He's quiet. His mind's going all the time, but he would say a line or two to us, you know, something funny or something, but never ever what you expect, that crazy Barney Fife. No, he was a great actor.
We
is
all
what he
miss
was.
him. I guess one thing, people will just shoot me if I don't ask you this, but we're so glad you're living in Mount Airy now, but you have to ask the question, why did you choose that?
Everyone says, what made you come to Mount Airy? Well, for one thing, a lot of people thought I lived there anyway. They love the show, and they really get into it so much that they'd say, when I was in LA, if they'd meet me, they'd say, well, where do you live now? They thought I was in Mount Airy all the time.
Of course.
And then I'd say, well, I've lived in LA over 50 years. Oh, really? We thought you were in North Carolina. I'd say, no. And it's so funny. However, I was put in a place that was very lovely called Ridgecrest for seniors. And I had an apartment that had the most beautiful things, the view. I see us being single.
Well, she's just saying 1 minute, although it could mean
I have
something
left?
else. Sometimes they put up fingers and you never know what there's...
Gee, well, I hope I can see it.
No, that's right.
I
But
don't know.
anyway, but you found Mount Airy love.
Here's this view, windows from floor to ceiling, all these beautiful green trees, and the Blue Ridge Mountains in the background. And I just fell in love with that view.
Sure.
And so when my home was robbed twice while I was away on appearances, and when I came back, I was scared to get back in the house.
Your home in LA was robbed.
LA.
Yeah.
And I was really scared. So I thought, I think it's time to get out of here.
That's right.
So I thought I could go to Kansas City.
Well, you know, your house in Mount Airy is being robbed as you're here right now. I sent some people over there, and
good.
Steve, one of the guys.
Well,
in the crew, is
everything's
over there with a
already
big bag.
gone,
Oh, it's
Jim.
gone. That's right. Thank you for doing that. Will you not be a stranger and come back and see us again
I
sometime?
would love to. I
And,
would love to. I'm sorry, I guess I ran over time.
No, that's all right. No, we're fine. We're
cut it.
going to fit all this in, and thanks for letting me call you Thelma Lou and all that good stuff.
I love Thelma Lou. You can
Thanks.
call me that anytime.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Jim.
I just got kissed by Thelma Lou.
At Sutton Brothers, we're confident we can help you solve your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs.
So confident that we'll fix it or it's free. Our highly trained technicians will diagnose your problem and fix it with either a repair or replacement.
And if we can't fix it, you won't pay the trip fee.
So the next time you have a problem, call us.
We'll make sure you're completely satisfied.
Guaranteed.
Call Sutton Brothers today and be confident things will be done right. Schedule online at suttonbros.com.
Major funding for Triad Today comes from Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, making healthcare better for all. Well, for those of you that watch the show regularly, and shame on you if you don't, you know that I was out in Hollywood last month to host and produce an event called A Salute to TV Moms. We had a lot of great ladies of the stage and screen, and one of them was Cloris Leachman. Here's an excerpt from that program, and I asked her what I thought was going to be an easy question. It turned out to be a long answer. Let's watch.
I'm the moderator. I'm the moderator.
Jeez.
Sorry.
I'd like to start out with a serious question for the panel. Cloris.
Do what you want.
Cloris. You once, Cloris.
What?
You once posed nude for a medical.
What?
No, you once posed nude for a medical journal. True or false?
Yes.
What was that all about?
Well, they called and said this magazine wants a cover of you on their cover. It's a cover on your cover, and so what is, we need a picture. I said, well, I don't have a picture. Well, I don't have a picture. Yes, you had. I do not have a picture. I don't have a picture. And anyway, who wants to see an old lady on the cover of a nature magazine? I mean, a health. I don't.
I do.
I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't. So we said goodbye, and then I was lying in bed, and I was up in Vancouver. What would you do? And I started a different head as a producer. What would I do if I owned the magazine? What would I do? I thought, well, if they had to use me, I think I should be stark naked hanging from a tree, and then I got all artistic and thought, well, it would be good if we're all old roots coming up, and old roots, and an old trunk coming up to younger and younger, and then the arms of the tree, and beautiful fruit hanging. I thought that would be pretty.
Great visual.
You know? Oh, be quiet now, just a minute. Or just fruits and vegetables painted all over me naked. And I knew just the man who could do it. It was a brilliant creative artist in Houston, Texas. So I called my manager and suggested that, and he thought it was a good idea. Called the magazine, and they loved it. Well, it was fine. And then I went back to work, and a few months later, okay, they're going to do it now, so you have to fly down to LA and do it. Well, now I'm back to myself again, who would never have done that.
No.
And I came home, and we were due there at 11, and at 8, I didn't get there till about 1. I couldn't get there.
Yeah.
And the artist and I were at my house talking it over. Finally, we got there, and he gave my daughter some money to go to the store to buy fruits and vegetables.
I'm sure he did, yeah.
Did you see the picture?
No, he wanted to get your daughter out of the house.
Finished
well, I'm
yet.
sorry.
So then he started painting me, and from 11 or 1 that afternoon till 11 that night, I had the bananas, and you wouldn't believe what I had. A pineapple here, and a peach here. Oh, it was just covered with wonderful vegetables. You can look it up if you want. And so that's what I did. Goodbye.
Well, that's all. I want to thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
And
good night.
thanks for watching this special edition of Triad Today. I'm Jim Longworth.